Hey designers, let's dive into creating a dynamic motion graphics project in After Effects. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Begin by setting up a new composition. Once that's ready, import the movie genres. I'll provide these in the description so you can practice along. Drag and drop everything onto the timeline. Select all the genres, enable their 3D properties, and activate motion blur for each layer. Switch the view from one view to two views. Set the left side to top view and keep the right side as the active camera. This setup will make positioning much easier. To bring in rulers, press Ctrl+R on your keyboard. Adjust the rulers carefully by zooming in to ensure precise placement. Start with the right side, zoom in, and make adjustments if necessary. Next, position the ruler for the top and bottom, using the active camera to confirm the alignment. Finally, place the bottom ruler, zoom in, and adjust as needed for perfection. Now, position each genre layer. Take the first one and align it to the top ruler. Select the second layer and place it at the bottom. For the left and right layers, rotation adjustments will be necessary. Choose the third layer, press R on your keyboard to open rotation settings, and set the Y rotation to 90 degrees. Now, take the third layer and drag it to the left side, aligning it perfectly with the ruler you created earlier. Once that's done, select the fourth layer, press R to bring up the rotation settings, set the Y rotation to 90 degrees, and move it to the right side. Adjust it carefully to fit the ruler there. For the fifth and sixth layers, these will go on the top and bottom of the cube. If this seems unclear, switch the top view in the left panel to current view 1. This will give you a clear look at the cube's hollow top and bottom, where these layers need to be placed. Select the fifth and sixth layers, press R for rotation, and this time set the X rotation to 90 degrees for both. Change the view from current view 1 back to left to position these layers. Move the fifth layer to the top of the cube and the sixth layer to the bottom, ensuring they align perfectly like this. Now that all the layers are positioned, switch back to current view 1 to review the setup. If any layer's text appears flipped or mirrored, select the layer, right-click, navigate to transform, and choose Flip Horizontal. This will correct the orientation and align it properly. Check all the layers to ensure none are mirrored. Once everything looks correct, change the view from 2 view back to 1 view. Next, create a new composition. Rename this composition to Main to organize your workflow better. Drag and drop composition 1 into this new main composition. Enable the 3D option, turn on motion blur, and activate the continuously rasterize option, the small sun-like icon. press R to access the rotation settings. Click on the stopwatch icons next to X rotation and Y rotation to create keyframes. Move the playhead a few frames forward and set the X rotation to 1 and Y rotation to 2. Additionally, adjust the values slightly to give the rotation a more dynamic feel. Scale down the composition by pressing S for scale and reducing its size until it fits well in the frame. Once scaled, press U to reveal the keyframes and move the playhead further along the timeline. Update the keyframes by changing X rotation to 2 and increasing Y rotation to 3, tweaking the values again for a smoother rotation. Preview the animation to ensure it transitions smoothly. Select all the keyframes, press F9 to apply the Easy Ease effect, and open the graph editor. Adjust the curves in the graph editor to refine the motion and create a natural, polished animation flow. Go ahead and preview the animation again. The first two frames look great, but for the third keyframe, select it and move it slightly further from the second one to create a smoother transition. This will make the movement less abrupt. Once you've adjusted that, select both the second and third keyframes, go to the graph editor, and fine-tune the curves. The motion should be more gradual, not sharp, so make sure to smooth it out for a better flow. Now that it looks good, return to the main view to continue. Next, let's work on the background. Start by importing the background image and dragging it onto the timeline. Adjust its scale to fit the composition by pressing Alt plus Ctrl plus F on your keyboard. Press P for position, and then move the playhead a few frames forward. Since you want the cube rotation to start later, offset the layer by setting it to begin at the 2.5 second mark. Now, click the stopwatch next to position at the 2.5 second mark. Select Composition 1 and press U to reveal the keyframes for it. Move the playhead to the second keyframe of Composition 1, then adjust the position of the background. You'll notice that once you make the change, the background will end and leave some blank space. To fix this, you'll need to apply an effect to make the background fill the screen properly. Go to the Effects and Presets panel and search for CC Reptile. Apply this effect to the background layer. In the effect settings, expand the right side to the maximum value of 20,000. At first, this may look strange, so change the tile setting from repeat to checker flip horizontal, which will make it look more natural. Move the playhead to the third keyframe, adjust the background position again, and slide the layer further left to ensure there are no gaps. Once the adjustments are made, select all the position keyframes for the background layer, press F9 to apply the Easy Ease effect, and open the graph editor. Smooth out the motion curve for a more natural flow. Fine-tune the graph further to match the animation style you're aiming for. Now, to enhance the look of the cube, add a drop shadow effect to Composition 1. Search for drop shadow in the Effects and Presets panel, apply it, and increase the distance and softness values to give it a subtle, professional depth. Finally, add text to the composition. Select the text tool and type your desired text. Align the text both vertically and horizontally in the frame. Access the properties of the text layer and click on Animate, then choose Opacity. Set the opacity to 0. Open the Add menu, navigate to Selector, and select Wiggly. In the Wiggly Selector properties, locate Wiggles/second. The higher this value, the faster the text will wiggle. Activate the stopwatch for Wiggles/second to create your first keyframe. Press U to view the keyframes on the timeline. Move the playhead a few frames forward and add another keyframe. Then, move the playhead further ahead to where you want the text animation to end. To trim the text layer, select it and press Alt plus right bracket. Increase the Wiggles/second value at this final keyframe to create a new, faster movement. Preview the animation and tweak the keyframes if needed. Increase the Wiggles/second value at the second keyframe to create a dynamic buildup. Once satisfied, trim the text layer to end around the 2-second mark. Now, offset the cube animation by moving it slightly to the left. For the background layer, press U to reveal its keyframes. Align these keyframes with the starting point of Composition 1's keyframes to ensure synchronization. Preview the entire animation, making final adjustments to the keyframes and layer timings. Once everything flows seamlessly, your animation is complete. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like it, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Ace Designs for more tutorials.